Hi, and welcome back to Ghosties. I'm Macy.
And I'm Natalie.
And today is a very special day.
Woo!
We're going to be doing another Listener Stories episode. This is what I love the most about the paranormal community in general.
Me
and
too.
About our podcast. I just love to hear people's real stories, real experiences and encounters with the paranormal.
I agree. Like if we could turn the whole pod into just people that are watching and listening and we just tell stories, I'm down. I mean, I love our little informational things, but
yeah.
I love this.
Yes, I love to
this
do
a
research. I do research in my daily life. Google is like my number one. But I love stories. I love people's stories. I love people's experiences. It makes it feel more real and it makes me feel less alone.
Let's
to be honest.
Yeah, because I know like the people watching and the people that have been watching, you're like, oh no, we're all talking about this. We're doing this all the time. But it's just the two of us sitting in this room right now talking to a tripod. And so sometimes I feel a little bit like
out there,
a little bit insane.
Yeah.
So this feels very much like one of us, like our people. And
Yes.
so it makes me very excited. So thank you for sending these in and
Yes.
please continue to do so.
Yes. Thank you. Before we start, I just want to let people know that you can send your stories in if you've got any to our email, ghostespod@gmail.com, ghosteaspod@gmail.com. But without further ado, today we have another Bigelow tea, much better than previous ones, hopefully.
I hope so.
Salted caramel.
Woo! I'm excited about this one. I chose this one.
Yeah.
So
Let's go.
that is better than
Yes.
the one we had previously.
Yes, it was really good.
The tea who shall not be named, but I really like this one. This one is high up on the rankings for me.
It's really good. It's basically like the caramel apple one that we had before, minus the apple. So delicious.
Yeah, I think the caramel apple for me was better, but
Mhm.
I love a good caramel, whatever you want to call it.
I'm always self-conscious when I say it
Me
because
too.
I'm not sure what exactly is the right way to say that word.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I say caramel,
I say caramel in my everyday life.
but caramel.
Sometimes if I feel like it needs to be a little
Caramel.
fancier, I'll say caramel.
I've never said that, like, really. But yeah, anyways, for all you weirdos,
Let
caramel.
us know in the comments how you say it.
But all right, let's get into these stories. I'm very excited.
So the first one is a heartwarming story.
Oh.
So get your tissues ready because I cried. Not gonna lie. She said, "Hi guys, I love the pod and absolutely love the new listener write-ins episode. I have a ghost story that happened to me when I was 15. I'm 20 now. So basically, for some context, my mother passed away from a really rare form of cancer. It's called leiomyosarcoma. It's really underfunded, so I would really appreciate it if you could share the name on the pod.
Oh my gosh, of course.
She had been suffering for a long time, so when the time came that she passed, we were all sad, of course, but also relieved that she wasn't suffering anymore. Anyways, before she died, I kept telling her to come to me as a ghost because I've always been into the paranormal." I'm about to cry.
I was about to say,
I've already read this.
I'm already about to cry.
She would always just laugh it off and say, no, she wouldn't haunt me, but if there was any other way for her to let me know she's there, she would do it. About a week or so after she died, I was laying in my bed sobbing one night, completely overtaken with grief. My bed is against the wall, so I was facing the wall with my back to the rest of my room. As I was crying and laying there, I felt an arm wrap around me and stay there. The weight felt like a human's arm. When I felt this, I was confused, but not scared. The presence was very comforting. After like 20 minutes of this, I turned around to see if anything was touching me that could have made that weight and nothing was on me. When I laid back down, it wrapped around me again and it stayed there until I fell asleep that night. The crazy part about this story that I'm actually only realizing now that I'm writing this is that before my mom died, I would lay in her bed with her and she would wrap her arm around me as I sobbed about the situation we were in. I think that experience was definitely my mom trying to tell me that she was okay now. Thanks for reading and sorry it's kind of short. Sincerely, Sutton."
Oh my god. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I need a moment.
I know. Take your moment. There's some stories that we've read or like, not even listener stories, just like in general that like I always get like a sense or like a feeling of it or like how it makes me feel. That was just like
Beautiful.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That was definitely your mom.
It was 100% your mom. It has to be. That was incredibly beautiful and like touched my soul. It was a little short. I don't even care. It was so impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And I will probably think about that story for the rest of my life, honestly. So
Same.
please never apologize.
Oh my God. Thank you for sharing that with us.
But I read that one first because I felt like it needed a lot of attention. So if anybody's going to watch this video, I wanted it to be the first thing that we talked about before anyone started clicking out.
Mm-hmm.
Leiomyosarcoma is a very long word, but it's a rare type of cancer that begins in smooth muscle tissue. I looked up a little. It says smooth muscle tissue is found in many areas of the body, such as the digestive system, urinary system, blood vessels, and uterus. So everywhere.
Literally everywhere.
And it's very rare and, as you can imagine, super, super underfunded. So we put a link in the description for anybody who'd like to donate to any research. I got with Sutton and asked her what the best website, the best organization was that her and her family have used and donate to. So she gave me that website, and I'm going to link it, and I'm going to donate a little bit as well. So if you have the means, please just donate whatever you can.
Or just share.
Just share about it. Share the link.
Anything you can do to, bring awareness. Awareness for things is, the starting point for anything. So
yes.
Thank you for sharing that again.
Thank you so much for sharing something
beautiful.
So beautiful and so personal. And we really appreciate you opening up to us like that and allowing us to put this out there. Now go donate. Now that I'm done crying.
Yeah.
This next one, the email title was Ghostly Passenger. I just found your podcast and am really enjoying it so far. I saw you were asking for stories, so here we go. Most of these stories were told to me by my sister or mom, and boy, are they spooky.
Woo.
My older sister is a twin and has had quite a few paranormal encounters. Sadly, my other sister, her twin, passed away when she was only a couple months old, so I was never able to meet her. People say that when you lose a twin, the living twin kind of develops a stronger connection to the spiritual world. I'm not too sure of the theory, but it's something along those lines. I'm definitely very inclined to believe this, since she's probably the only one of my siblings to have actually seen a full body apparition more than once.
Oh.
This first story happened when my sister was in her early 20s, so about 18 to 20 years ago. She was hanging out with a friend, we'll call her Mary, getting ready for a party. When they were ready to leave, my sister said she would drive since she didn't plan on drinking, so Mary, probably ecstatic, hopped in the passenger seat. They started driving and turned onto the main road just to be hit with bumper-to-bumper traffic. As they were slowly driving, my sister starts talking to Mary about the party, but soon notices that she's acting super strange. Mary was fidgeting in her seat, was giving her short responses, and just looked nervous overall. My sister kept asking her what was wrong, but each time Mary responded, "Nothing, I'm fine." My sister thought, okay, weird. She probably needs to pee or something.
Okay.
Finally, they got to the area where all the commotion was and saw that there had been a terrible car accident. My sister described it as one of those accidents where you just know someone lost their life. It's that bad. As they're inching closer to the accident, my sister notices that Mary's fidgeting is just getting worse and worse. Then suddenly, as they pass the scene, Mary just stops and sits there completely still, not moving an inch. My sister notices this, but kind of brushes it off as her attention focuses on the accident. They finally drive by onto a clear road, and that was that. Well, a few minutes after driving by, my sister started getting this really weird feeling like someone was behind her. So she glances in the rearview mirror and finally sees it. A full-on white figure in the shape of a person sitting in her back seat, slowly turning their head to look in her direction.
Oh my God.
She immediately looked away, then turned back again, and they were still sitting there. She then turns to her friend and says, "Mary," and Mary just responds, "I know, just keep driving." So my sister did just that. And after a minute, she looks back and the figure was finally gone.
What?
At this point, my sister had so many questions, as do I.
Okay.
As does Natalie.
Continue. Yes.
Apparently, Mary is able to see spirits, and that the second they turned onto the road, she knew there had been an accident and could sense the spirit of the person who had died. The whole time, as they drove closer, she began seeing more and sensing more, which is why her fidgeting kept getting worse and worse. As they passed the crash, she suddenly stopped and sat still because at this moment, she sensed the spirit making their way into the car and into the back seat. Mary genuinely did not think that my sister would even see anything, which is why she did not mention the ghost decided to take a little stroll with them. She did not want to scare my sister, especially because she was the one driving. But as my sister called out Mary's name, Mary immediately knew that she had seen something and telepathically told the spirit that they were now dead and needed to move on. So it seemed like that's exactly what the spirit did. I was stoked to know someone so close to me had actually seen a full body apparition. I know it sounds terrible, but I was so curious to know exactly what the apparition looked like.
I am too. Thank you.
She said it was literally just a white figure, a bit transparent in the shape of a person. I was honestly hoping for something I hadn't heard. But it just makes me believe she saw what she saw even more. My sister is not into anything paranormal. She actually, even to this day, after all of her experiences, thinks it's kind of silly. She is still close friends with Mary, and Mary finally now openly talks about her gift. Phew, that was a lot of typing.
What?
I'll send the rest of my stories when I have a bit more time. I'll leave you ladies with this one for now. Talk to you soon. Much love, E.
Thank you okay, first of all, thank you for sending that.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Now let's chat. That was crazy.
Why did you get in the car? It was
Why?
like,
so in my mind,
oh, my Uber's here?
in my mind, like you are first a spirit, and like you don't know what's going on. You just are looking around, you don't know where you are, and you're like, oh, I should probably get in this car. And because like, when you're in shock or when something, like you've just been hurt or something and your mind is kind of blurry,
I guess.
and you are just like looking for the first thing that makes sense. That's my mind. And like maybe the spirit was like, oh, this car must be for me, because they were passing by and could sense Mary's energy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my thought. Like maybe she just got anxious, like maybe this is where I'm supposed to be.
I don't like this story because when I drive alone, I am always afraid to look in the review. Like always afraid. And like if a light is like shining into my car and it like hits the headrest at the right angle, I'm like,
Just
who is
immediate.
that? Who are you? Like I get so nervous and I'm
Yeah.
like, I have to just turn around really fast. So please, nobody get in my car, please.
The worst part about doing like this, recording this and getting scared, is leaving, because I'll put my car in reverse and the backup mirror, the backup camera. Yeah, I'm so afraid that there's going to be something there every single time. So this gave me those feelings.
I am too. And guess what I'll do? Gas pedal. Just full. I'm punching through I'm Flintstones. I'm through the floorboard. I'm not playing. I hope it's no one messing with me because I don't like pranks. I don't like tricks.
You are a danger to society.
Don't play with me because I'm scared.
Yes.
Constantly. I'm in fear all day. So don't heighten that fear. That's so scary. That
was a
wow.
really scary story. And she said she has more.
I'm very
Or they
interested.
say they have more. So I cannot wait, because that was one heck of a story.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Thank you again so much for sharing with us.
Tell Mary to watch the pod and send us her gift stories. I'm intrigued with everybody in this story.
I want
right
to have
now.
a chat with Mary.
Me
For sure.
too.
And back to
twin?
it. The sister thinks it's silly. She saw a whole dead person in her back seat, and she's still just like, nah, that's all silly.
See,
that's fun and games.
Not even that. Like, okay, I understand that. Some people just aren't into it, don't believe it, don't want to mess with it. Fine. But the twin thing, that got me too, because like twins are different.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if you had a twin, like y'all are different. And so it's very interesting. I've never heard like the twin like
telepathy through to the other side, though.
The other side, that thing. I've heard like twins can like kind of like read each other's minds and do all those things. Very, very interested by twins. But
I would love to do an episode on
twins,
some kind of spooky twin telepathy thing. Let us know if you're interested in that, because I sure am.
Write that down. I'm very interested. I still have questions, so bring Mary to the pod.
So our next story comes from a little TikTok celebrity. Woo! Really, one of my favorite people, actually. It is Wendy Weather.
Woo!
She
Wendy!
is the history drag queen. Super awesome content.
Mm-hmm.
Super beautiful. Dresses like a star.
Let me just say, without sounding weird, because I feel like it's weird when I perceive people and they don't know that I'm perceiving them, because I'm not like commenting and stuff just because I'm shy. But I've been following Wendy Weather's TikTok for a while, silently, of course, on my own personal TikTok. And the makeup artistry, I have been so impressed, because it's like, you can see the growth, and I'm just like, I want to throw that out there. I'm impressed. I'm proud. You look gorgeous, and I love your style of makeup, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I think what you're doing is great, and I am a fan.
Yes. So what Wendy Weather does is she obviously is in drag, is looking awesome, and then comes on with just the best pieces of history, things you wouldn't know, literally tea. Like,
Literally.
tea from history. It is so good. It is so good. If anything you want to know, there's probably content on their TikTok page. So go check her out. Windy weather, phenomenal. Just wanted to say that. But we got their story. We got the story.
Thank you.
Here we go. So I wanted to share my most horrifying paranormal experience that actually spans the course of 5 years,
Jesus.
which were also my very first paranormal experiences. I would like to apologize for the length of this story beforehand and any typos. First of all, please don't apologize for length. Send us everything. If you're sending us your story, I want every detail down to the color of the shades in your room.
Agreed.
Thank you. When I was 9, my mom, older brother, and I moved into a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom, white paneled house next to the local Baptist church. It was tucked away far in the woods, scattered with winding dirt roads. I had never really thought about ghosts or spirits in my life before. I mean, I was 9. I was too worried about my Polly Pockets and SpongeBob to think about anything else.
Same. Polly
Relatable.
Pockets.
Until I moved into the White House. The house itself was structurally old, and the architectural design of it wasn't an exception. It was originally built in the 1930s with a roundabout design. Each room was connected to each other by a door. Almost every wall had a door on it, if not 2. There was a small 20-foot hallway to which the only rooms attached to it were the main bathroom and my bedroom. When we moved in, the house was also oddly painted. The kitchen was this disgusting pastel yellow, and every single door was painted white except the one to my bedroom.
No.
It was this dark maroon color, and we never repainted it.
I'm already scared.
The first couple of months of living there, nothing was odd, until one night, whilst getting a glass of water, as I turned away from the kitchen sink, the utility door to the laundry room slowly opened by itself. Of course, being 9, almost 10, I sprinted to my room and locked the door. This became a regular occurrence that everyone in the household would experience, but my mother would always write it off as drafts, and that it's just an old house.
That's such a mom thing.
It really is.
Everything's fine, guys. She's shaking in her boots.
Probably. Then at night, both me and my older brother started to sometimes hear random knockings on the walls late at night or early in the morning from time to time. The knocking always gets me. Nothing would escalate for a while until about half a year later, right before my brother left for college. In hindsight, after we grew up and actually talked to each other about our experiences, that we had 2 very different experiences in this house. This is from my brother's account. One day while he was getting ready for work, leaving the bathroom, there was an old man in old dust-covered / working overalls standing in the hallway.
Oh no.
My brother asked him what he was doing in the house, to which the man said, "I'm just here to help when I can." My brother then turned to grab his phone, and when he turned back, the man we will now call the farmer was gone.
I don't like it. You named it. I'm scared.
My brother had just had the first full apparitional experience in this house. I would soon actually have the second, but very unlike my brother's.
Oh no.
I was 13, had terrible insomnia, and still was, as always, would get a glass of water at night. I know living in a low-key haunted house, I should have known better, but I never knew of my brother's experiences until afterwards.
That's like rule number 1. You bring the water to bed and you don't get up. That's like rule number 1.
If I wake up thirsty, I just power through.
I'm just thirsty. I'm not getting up. No.
Getting a glass of water became sort of this dance me and the house would do nightly. I'd turn all the lights on possible, get my water, and then I would very quickly turn off all the lights as I passed them, never turning around to look behind me. Sorry, I laughed. That's so relatable.
I do that now.
It's like the
the panicked run. Yeah, I do that too.
Until one night, while hurrying back to my bedroom, I heard a door slam. So loud, you would have thought it broke. I quickly started running, sprinting to my room.
And you're just like tucking your butt like, no!
Yes.
I've been there. I've been there so many times.
Not even for good reason, like a door slamming behind me either. Just
my own mind.
Imagination, yeah. As I turned to turn the hallway light off, that was next to my bedroom door, it was standing there.
I just got chills.
The half the hallway still lit, and the end of it in total darkness. Right where the edge of the light met the end of the hall stood a tall, dark figure with a large black-rimmed hat and black boots, and long black coat with smoke-filled eyes / face.
What?
It, to this day, is the scariest thing I have ever seen. I closed my door, leaving the hall light on. I locked my door and pushed my bed in front of it. The next morning, I did get in trouble for accidentally leaving the hall light on. But from that point forward, I started keeping 2 glasses of water in my bedroom before I went to bed. That is frightening.
Oh my God.
The next encounter solidified that I was not seeing things. A few weeks later, I was home alone, taking a shower, and the lights went out. I assumed it was a burnt bulb, a power outage, or my older brother, who I knew was on his way home, was playing a prank on me or something. I got out of the shower and saw the light switch was indeed off. Haha, very funny, older brother's name, and I got back in the shower. Then, as if from a freaking movie, an imprint of a hand touched the shower curtain and said, "Hi."
Oh, shut up. Oh my God. I just got chills.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry. Oh my God. I feel like every episode we have, there's some kind of deep fear that I already had.
That just unlocks
that someone's like,
brings back out.
It did happen to me, because in my mind, I've already told myself, it can't happen. It's not gonna happen. That is the one. I am so terrified. Do you know how many times I'm taking a shower and I go whoop, and peek out?
I don't peek out.
I do.
Because I can't. Because if I do see something, what am I going to do? Die.
Naked and afraid. I don't know. I don't know. It just, oh my God, the shower thing, especially in hotels, because it's like glass and like steamy and it's like an unknown place. So you're already kind of nervous. Well, I'm already kind of nervous. It said hi.
It said hi.
What do you even do? If there's a window, you try to shimmy out of that little skinny window with the shampoo sitting up there. Because I would. Oh my God, like a cat. I'd be like up on the thing. That's so scary. Okay, sorry. Continue.
It said hi. In the most sinister hissing whisper I have ever heard in my life. I screamed at the top of my lungs and ran out of the house with nothing but a towel. I was standing in the yard for a good 2 minutes until I saw my brother's truck pull up to the house. It was clear I had still been in the house alone.
Oh my God.
My brother, clearly seeing my 13-year-old self outside in just a towel and scared out of my mind, asked me what happened, and I told him, to which he said, "Oh no, it's okay. He's a nice old man. I saw him once. You're not crazy." He was just saying hi. He's nice, trust me.
No.
I don't think this is the old man.
No. This doesn't feel nice.
No. I was petrified of that bathroom and could not stand being in it for more than 2 minutes at a time. I probably still am to this day. But I took my brother's word and tried to ignore the nice old man saying hi or doing whatever. It wasn't until I had gotten super sick one day and was sleeping in my mom's room one night that I had another encounter. I woke up in the middle of the night and saw this weird black mass on the ceiling. Then I started to hear boot steps.
Shut up.
I turned into a 5-year-old that very second and immediately hid under the covers. I then could feel a touch go across my leg over the blankets, and then heard footsteps walk away. I stayed under the covers until I fell asleep.
I feel sick.
Same. After exhausted of being completely scared of being in my own house, I did an experiment. I realized I had never had an encounter in my bedroom, or my door open, or a door handle jingle. Nothing.
That's the dark door. Oh my God.
Late at night, I opened my door and left it open and stood there for a good 20 minutes. Nothing. After several nights of doing this, I came to the conclusion that whatever is happening in my house doesn't want anything to do with my bedroom. It wasn't until we moved out I might have figured out why. Lucky duck, that was your bedroom.
Oh my God.
Also brave. I don't think I could stand there
No.
for 20 minutes. I would be terrified. Just
no. How do you live?
How do I live?
I was going to say that. That's why I stuttered. I was thinking more like, how do I breathe? Mario? No.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Took me a second. I couldn't place it. I was
Ugh.
still in
I can't breathe. I'm sweating right now. I'm horrified. There's more,
There's
huh?
more. There's more.
I'm happy that there's more, but God, I'm scared.
A few years later, when I was 15, my mom and I moved out of the house, and honestly, I was over the moon. When I was home alone packing boxes, our landlord had unexpectedly stopped by to pick up the spare keys, etc. While he was there, I took the opportunity to actually ask him questions about the house I never had been able to. 2 things he told me were, the bathroom was actually an addition to the house in the 1970s. He then pointed to my bedroom. And the room at the end of the hall actually is the only one that has the original 1930s wood flooring, and that the door on it was actually the original front door of the house.
Interesting.
I was shocked. No wonder it didn't like my bedroom, and why it liked the bathroom so much. Probably because it probably had no attachments to it. It wasn't until I was in college myself that me and my brother had actually talked about the crazy things that happened at the White House. After hours and hours of piecing together and telling each other of what happened to us there, We both came to the conclusion that there was indeed some kind of demonic entity that was being suppressed or fought off by the spirit of the farmer.
Aw.
That was maybe perhaps the first owner of the house. The house also always had this eerie push and pull energy to it, as if two forces were trying to inhabit the same space.
Oh my God.
Ever since me and my brother have lived in that house, we have sensitivities to spirits and entities. After researching individually and together, and combined later future experiences, we came to the conclusion that my brother is clairvisual and spirits are more inclined / feel safe enough to show themselves to him, and I am unfortunately a magnet. I am 27 now and have had multiple other experiences since then, but when your first paranormal experience is a 5-year demonic haunting, you just thank the universe for the farmer spirits.
Give it up for the farmer. Oh my God.
That story
That's-
will haunt me.
Amazing, but so scary. I yelled earlier. I'm sorry. That really scared me.
Yeah.
Whew.
Seeing it first, and it was just taunting you. Like it was just taunting you through your house.
Mhm.
And it's your own house.
I
You
know,
can't feel
'cause
safe.
You can't leave. That's horrifying.
I'm
Thank
glad-
you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. I'm so glad that your door was the door keeping it away.
That's so interesting. Isn't there a movie called like Insidious the Red Door or something like that?
Probably.
I think so.
But is a red door a good thing or a bad thing in that movie?
I don't even remember. I watched it. The last few Insidious movies sucked, but like you had the red door. I don't know. That feels so eerie, and I feel like I can just like I was really like painting a picture of like the
Yeah, you
small
wrote
city of
that
it, small
really
town of it.
well. By the
And-
way,
yeah.
it was written so well. Like I could see it.
Yeah, it really painted the picture, and I don't know if that's a good thing for these, but it was good.
It was good. Oh, I'm sorry, but also thank you. And don't forget to go check out Windy Weather on TikTok. Like the best TikTok creator.
And Instagram too, I think.
So our next story comes from someone named Martin. They message us on Instagram.
Ooh.
They say, I would like to tell you about my experience. One day, me and my buddy were eating at a McDonald's. He was big into the whole paranormal thing, and at the time, I wasn't. Long story short, I was kidnapped into going on this excursion.
Oh,
All
Kinda
good
scared me
stories
there.
start that
kind
way.
of scared me there first. I was like, oh,
He put it in quotes, so.
yeah. Man.
When me and my friend get there, it's our mutual friend's parents' house, and along with him and his girlfriend and friend. So 5 of us all together. The destination was a graveyard in the middle of some thick woods behind the trailer park.
Of course it is.
Always is. Apparently, it was a really old graveyard, but there was one grave in specific they told me to be wary of. They said there were no other graves around, and all they could make out was the name Roy, I believe. This was nearly a decade ago, and I never returned. And it was rumored that he murdered quite a few people in the very same graveyard pre-death.
Huh?
That's neither here nor there. I cannot confirm that.
Oh,
So apparently, the
so we don't like Roy.
no,
Roy's kind of
Roy
dark.
is a murderer
Oh, great.
in the graveyard that he was buried in.
I'm interested though.
This is where it really caught my eye. What I can't confirm is the life-changing evil I saw there. It was at least 2 a.m. at this time, probably later.
Probably 3.
Probably 3 a.m. The woods were somewhat dense enough so sometimes you couldn't see the moonlight. And when you could, most of what you saw was stagnant fog up to your waist.
Oh.
Other than Roy, there were a few more spirits they saw frequently enough to remember. 2 children and a woman in a dress. So I asked what are the chances we see them. I'm shook at this moment, really not feeling the vibe. They said pretty likely, but if we don't see them is when we need to worry. I chuckled because I thought they were messing with me.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. We make it to the graveyard finally, and it's dilapidated. Most tombstones cracked and broken, names withered with time. Still dealing with the fog problem. I'm man enough to admit I was holding onto my friend's arm for most of the trip. I finally gained some confidence and started walking a little bit away from them. We're talking and laughing, the mood's good, I'm having fun, until suddenly they all stop moving. So I look back at them and say, "What's up?" I immediately see the fear in their faces, most pale. I followed their eyes, and 25 to 30 feet away, I saw something unimaginable.
No.
It's hard to tell, but I would estimate him to be between 7 and 8 feet tall, dark and shadowy, pointed ears, and impossibly long arms that nearly scraped the ground, even when he was standing all the way up. It was weird because it looked solid and gaseous at the same time, like if I touched it, I would grab nothing and something at the same time. I really cannot explain that. That was just how it looked.
No, I know what you mean.
And one glowing red eye.
One.
I froze in fear for what felt like an eternity, just looking at pure evil in the face. You know what they say about staring into the abyss. I couldn't move or think until I heard my friend whisper to me to run. And it all clicked. I never ran so fast in my life, and I never went back.
That's it?
That's it.
That made me
That
feel
worked
really
me up.
sick. Oh my God. The one eye?
Dude, that's
does
some
that
demonic
mean?
something. I don't know.
What does that mean? That kind of like scared me.
Yeah, that's some like demonic creature in that graveyard.
Ooh, I don't even know. I don't know what to say. That's really scary.
I don't know. So cemeteries already a little spooky at night.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the trope, right?
Yeah.
But a dilapidated cemetery, one that's like not kept up with. So there's weeds and vines growing over the markers, and the names are withered away.
That makes me sad.
There's all this legend that horrible, unspeakable acts happened in the area as well. It's deep in this dense wood, but no.
No.
All of that
ma'am.
2 a.m. beyond, all of that is just a recipe for
Like,
demons.
that's so, I just don't even know. Because I'm already like, the first time I ever wrecked a car was after my friends were like, oh, let's go driving through the cemetery in our town. And I was like, haha, let's do that. And I was scared. I was so scared. But I was like, yeah, guys. And it was my car. And we were 15. I shouldn't have been driving. But we went and we drove around. And then I was really scared because we lived in the woods. And so I was driving home just 90 miles an hour, trying not to look to the sides. I turned in really fast because I was like, I'm jumping out of this car and running in this house. And I hit a parked car. And yeah, I don't like cemeteries.
The only time I was ever enticed to go into a cemetery late at night, I was with a couple of friends, and I did not go. I was
Our
like,
neighbor?
no.
Oh.
Different person. They went in, and I was like,
On
I'll
foot?
hang back. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
We drove up and parked, and I was like, I'll stay here. Have a good time.
You
And
stay by yourself?
I stayed by myself and sat there waiting for them.
Ooh, no.
It was not inside. We were parked outside, and they
I don't
walked
care.
in, and I was just like,
I don't
I'm
care.
good.
You stayed by yourself. That's even scarier. I would have went with him and just like closed my eyes.
no.
That's really scary.
I didn't know their intentions.
I don't care. That's really
If
scary.
they went in like, we're gonna go honor and respect the spirits, then fine. But I don't think that was their plan. I think they were in there to get scared. And if you're in there, if you're putting your
Looking for
vibrations out there for looking for a thrill,
you're
you'll
gonna get
find
it.
one.
Ooh, I like it. I
Just
like
like
it.
this little pointy-eared, red-eyed demon.
Yeah, that's really scary. Thank you for sharing that. That's
Thank you for sharing.
horrifying.
I hope this never happens to you again.
No.
He also mentioned a place called the Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina, and I'm putting that on our list to look
Ooh.
into. So
Okay. Never
thanks
heard
for
of
the
it.
suggestion.
I'm excited.
So our next one comes from a person named Sarah. Hello. I just watched your episode on past life regressions and shared it with my sister. We love your channel, and this happens to be our favorite topic. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing. That's awesome. I love she's my sister. I love getting to share things with my sister. So. And Kayla. Hey, Kayla.
Hi.
We haven't mentioned you in a while. Anyways, I wanted to share a past life regression with you. About a year ago, I went down a rabbit hole with this subject and found an audio of Brian Weiss guiding past life regressions. I would do this almost every day before going to bed. Most of the time, I didn't experience anything more than just a nice, relaxing meditation. But there is one dream or vision I remember. I knew it was somewhere in Europe during the 1800s. It looked like the early industrial area. It was dark and gray. I was standing in a busy street. The shops were dark inside. I assumed because it was before electricity.
Ooh.
And I walked into the shop where I saw a woman processing dead birds. Then I woke up right after, and that was when the regression audio ended.
Whoa.
It's unfortunate that it ended right when you were like
I
getting
know.
into it.
The good part.
Yeah. I was grossed out about the dead birds I saw at this woman's shop and thought nothing of it. Maybe it was just a weird dream. But upon further research, I found out that during the 1800s, bird plumage was highly sought after for hats, etc. Some exotic feathers were worth their weight in silver.
Oh, wow.
It's also been estimated that almost 200 million birds were killed during this time for clothing and accessories.
Well, that's sad.
Anyways, I'm totally convinced now that we can become reincarnated. Thanks for your videos. I look forward to them.
That's so cool.
That's really cool.
Every cool story I hear about it makes me want to do one more and more, but I'm so scared.
I know. I've seen those like regressions on YouTube, like the videos like she's talking about, and
too
I've thought
scared.
about it. I'm not scared, but I don't know. I don't want to get too caught up in it.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really cool though. And now
I might do it now though.
I know I kind of want to do it, but
Oh, and she said to make sure if you're going to do it with the YouTube, make sure it's not like no ads.
I was about to say it just like Monday in
Yeah,
the
you're
middle
like
of your like
walking through this amazing experience, and then suddenly, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little scary.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah,
That's
for
so
real.
crazy. It's crazy that she was able to piece this together. Like, it's not something she really knew about. She was just like, ew, dead birds. And then realized that it made sense for the time.
That is even like so much cooler. It makes it so much more believable because like, unless you're like windy weather and you're a history buff, like you don't know things. Like I would have never known that. And like, you're not taught that. That's not something that's like a big topic in school, at least where we went to school. So
not
it's
super
like,
in depth anyway.
yeah. So
I mean,
that's
you learn the
just-
big things,
Yeah, but that's really cool. That's really
but not like cultural things.
yeah.
Really,
Thank you for that.
really interesting. Thank you so much for sharing.
And if you do any more, keep sending us your experiences.
Yes, please. Okay, we have one more story.
That's it.
Yep, that's it. You have to come back for more.
I'm having so much fun. Please send more.
Hi, I've been watching your podcast recently and wanted to share my own story with you, and I hope to see you tell it one day. Here's the day.
Hello.
My name is Angelique, and when I was around 8 or 9, my dad lived in this house. Small things would happen, like the lights would turn off, our Xbox would turn off mid-game, and you'd see some shadows out of the corner of your eye, but never directly. Things that could honestly be dismissed, mostly. But we all experienced it. Me and my older sister, 8 years older than me, used to sleep downstairs in her room together. My stepmom, dad, and brother would sleep upstairs. And this night specifically, my uncle was over. I'd like to input here that my uncle was not a small guy. He was at least 280 to 300 pounds and tall. This is important to the story later. Put a pin in it. Now this night, me and my sister, as usual, said goodnight to my dad and went to our room. Now we slept with the door open. As normal, I went to sleep, and randomly in the middle of the night, I was woken up by my sister shaking me and loudly whispering my name in my ear. Annoyed, I tried to go back to sleep when she asked me, "Do you see that?" I don't know if it was the fear in her voice or if it was the feeling I got, but something told me to look, so I sat up and followed her finger to the far corner of the room, where in the dark of the room I could see someone, or something, standing in the corner. It was darker than the dark somehow. I couldn't explain it. But I thought I was seeing things because I had just woken up. I rubbed my eyes and looked again. Nope, it was still there. Immediately, I started backing into the corner of my bed, whispering to her, "Oh my God, what is it?"
Oh my God.
Almost instantly, we felt pressure at the foot of the bed as if someone was pressing on it. Screaming for our dad, we could hear him come running down the stairs, and just as he made it to the doorway to the room, the door slammed shut. Now we're locked in here with this thing, so we're screaming and crying, huddled in the corner, and my dad, with the help of my uncle, are trying to break down the door. Remember my uncle's size? These were the super cheap, dumb wooden doors you could easily break. I know because we'd done it before on accident, just being kids. My dad and uncle were running into the door, screaming at us if we were okay, and we were screaming back for them to please just open it. They could not get this door open or break it.
No.
2 grown men using all their force. My sister screamed at this thing we could no longer see to leave us alone. And just like it never happened, the door popped open. We all ran to each other and my dad checked the room just to be sure. No one was found and we still can't explain what happened. We refused to sleep in that room after that, and then we soon moved. We had a lot of experiences in that house, and I could share so many stories, but this one will sit with me for the rest of my life. And I honestly wouldn't wish something so terrifying on my worst enemy. Anyway, I love your podcast. Keep up the good work, and I hope my story didn't creep you guys out too much. If you ever want more stories, I have a lot of experiences I'd be willing to share for the content.
Well, it did.
It did, but thank you.
But thank you so much.
This is what we live for.
This is what we do, but...
That's one of the scariest stories I've ever read, honestly.
That's the door.
The door shutting and no one...
And they can't get to you.
Her dad and uncle, they're right on the other side. I couldn't imagine as a parent
As the
not
kid
being able
just
to get to my child like that.
Just, what do you do?
Seeing that kind of come towards you and then it disappears.
I just got sick.
Yeah. It just disappears. You can't see anymore, but you feel the pressure of it right beside you. Ooh. Ooh. In my mind, so I see this shadowy figure. I'm also mixing it with Martin's story with this like demon creature looking thing that's just, and it's all overwhelming.
I wasn't, it was just large. I don't know. I'm scared. That was really great.
That was terrifying. And I had to save the scariest for last, so.
They were all kind of scary. They were all very scary.
But yeah, send us everything.
Send us everything.
We wanted to know it all.
Send us every story you have. Because that's going to stick with me.
Yeah.
That, and then Wendy's hand.
On the shower. Ooh, yeah.
I'm horrified.
This was a really scary one, honestly.
It was, and I loved it, but
It was really good.
I'm scared.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sending your stories. Oh, I'd like to reiterate one more time. Don't forget to check down in the description for the link to the donation for leiomyosarcoma.
Yes.
Just wanted to remind you again.
If you made it this far, thank you.
Yes, if you made it this far, thank you. We really appreciate you taking the time to sit with us and tell some spooky stories. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast if you're listening. We'd love to hear what you think about us. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. Share this video if you feel compelled to do so. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at GhosteasPod. Keep up with what we're doing over there. And send us your stories at ghosteaspod@gmail.com. Maybe you'll hear one on another Listener Stories episode. But we're so excited to be on this venture with you guys, and we will see you next Monday. Goodbye!